What is up, ladies and gentlemen? It's your boy James Zeeks, and today we've got a big update to go over. We're actually going to be going over the new VGC 2020 rules, Season 3 as it's been deemed, starting March 1st, 2020. This is going to be the new VGC format until things change, until they decide to add more Gmaxes or add even more Pokemon. We will have to wait and see. But yeah, guys, there is a large list of Giganta Max forms now allowed. And there have been the Lowland starters added and the Kanto starters added, besides Charizard, of course, since he was already here. And then there's also some Lowland forms and Cantonian forms that are now going to be allowed in VGC. So it is a huge update to the meta, and I can't wait to go over it with you guys and give you guys my thoughts and all that stuff. And you know, I want to keep the people informed. So this is gonna be fun. We're gonna go over the new stuff and what I think is gonna be pretty good. So yeah, guys, if you do want to hang out with me and watch me play Pokemon live and other games every once in a while, please do check me out on Twitch, guys. I stream 5 days a week. I would love that. So guys, let's get into it now. We're gonna start with the Giganta Max forms. So guys, here we are with the Series 3 new Gigantamax forms that are allowed. I'll go over them with you guys. We've got Illcreme, Appleton, Colossal, Flapple, Grimshaw, Hatterene, Kingler, Lapras, Orbeetle, and Toxtricity. So guys, let's do a little rundown of what their new Gigantamax moves do. Alrighty guys, here we are on Bulbapedia looking at the Gigantamax moves. So let's start looking. We've got Kingler. Now, Kingler lowers the speed of both Pokemon by 2 stages, which is honestly really good. I think that's a really good Gigantamax move, but it's unfortunate. Kingler's stats are just so poor that he's just going to die to a lot of special attacks. But we'll elaborate later. Lapras sets up Aurora Veil for your team when it uses its ice move. Very good. And we've got Orbeetle, which sets up Gravity. Gravity is really cool, but you want to be, you know, setting up Gravity for your Dynamax Excadrill to hit with Max Quake or something. So I don't know how good this one's gonna be as well. Colossal is kind of cool. Colossal is the same thing as Gmax Wildfire from Charizard, but it is rock, so it does not do damage to rock types. So that is pretty cool as well. Flapple and Appleton lowers evasiveness, heals the user of their status cushions. Honestly, pretty poor, pretty lame. Sorry, I was waiting for a car to drive by. Toxtricity inflicts poison or paralysis. Honestly, this one's pretty bad. I mean, Pikachu inflicts paralysis 100% of the time, and Toxtricity, if you're using Toxtricity, one, he's not as fast as Pikachu, which is really brutal. And when you get that poison effect, you're going to be very sad. When you get the paralysis, you're going to be happy, but yeah, it's not really doing it. But then, guys, we got Hatterene. And Hatterene inflicts confusion on both opponents. Now, this one is super cool. I will elaborate a bit more in just a second. And then we've got Illcreme, which heals herself and its ally for 1/6 of their maximum HP, which is pretty cool, pretty solid. So let's dive in. But guys, I want to go over who I think are the big winners, the big meta changers, you know, and we are going to start with Lapras. Guys, so Lapras's ice move sets up Aurora Veil. So it's no longer able to set up Hail, which is not a big deal. It can still set up Rain with Max Geyser. But yeah, guys, setting up Aurora Veil is huge. And then another thing that Lapras can do, which is very cool, is it has Shell Armor. As you guys know, crit Togekiss with Super Luck and a Scope Lens or Razor Claw is really dominating the meta. So Lapras being that much tankier against it is super cool. It actually is even better because if Togekiss were to crit Lapras, it would actually do damage through the Aurora Veil. But since it cannot crit Lapras, that means it cannot bypass the Aurora Veil without breaking it. So that is very cool for Lapras. Honestly, I think we're going to see a lot more Brick Break teched into teams just to kind of get through Aurora Veil, but Brick Break's such an underwhelming move. It's kind of a wasted turn, and Lapras has 3 opportunities to set up that Aurora Veil. So I mean, Lapras is looking really cool. And then after you get, you know, your Aurora Veil up, you're a really tanky Lapras. You can hit with Freeze Dry, Hydro Pump, all that kind of stuff after you set up the Aurora Veil. It's going to make your team really bulky. It's going to help out set up Pokemon as well. So I honestly think Lapras is going to be very good. Now, let's move on to who I think is the next most benefited Gmax. So no one's surprised, guys. I gotta say one of the big meta changers is Charizard being allowed to have its Gigantamax form and solar power now. Now, we've been playing against it on the Battle Stadium ladder because it's been allowed, which is unfortunate. But now it is completely legal, which is really scary. You know, you lead Sableye or Whimsicott, you click Sunny Day, and you just pop something. Insane damage, while also setting up the G-Max Wildfire is super crazy. Like, Charizard's going to be very, very good. While it is quite predictable, you know exactly what you're going to be facing in team preview, that doesn't stop this team from being super strong. So, guys, Charizard is going to be something to watch out for. It's not much different than it was before, but you could say it's just an even stronger version of G-Max Charizard because Blaze was very underwhelming, you know, and almost never goes off. But now it's going to be packing some big damage, so you definitely got to watch out for Charizard. Now, guys, for my third and final big pick for the Gigantamax forms that are going to really change the meta is actually Hatterene. I think Hatterene has been quite underused at the moment. I think people kind of got scared of how good Duraludon is and just shied away from Hatterene on their Trick Room teams. But the thing is Hatterene is unable to be taunted, which is very cool. And I think this is very big. Hatterene is unable to be Dragon-tailed. It is a fairy type being immune to Dragon. So I actually think as long as you can get your Hatterene to survive, whether it's a Babiri Berry or a Fake Out or a Light Screen, however you do it, Hatterene is a really, really big threat under Trick Room. And guys, now Hatterene's Fairy move confuses both opponents. Why this is so huge is Hatterene normally had to deal with constantly changing the terrain from Psychic Terrain to Misty Terrain by using its Stab, Psychic, and Fairy moves while Gigantamax, which would weaken its Psychic moves whenever the Misty Terrain was up. So now you don't have to worry about that, and Misty Terrain made opponents immune to status. So let's say the confusion was on the Psychic move, you would never be able to go for your Max Fairy move and then your Max Psychic move. So the fact that it's on the Max Fairy is very, very important. It would be very unfortunate for Hatterene if it was on the Psychic. So not only do I think Hatterene is being a bit slept on, I think its move is even stronger now because I think the Misty Terrain wasn't a huge deal on Trick Room teams, especially because Hatterene herself is already immune to Sleep Powder, Thunder Wave, stuff like that. So Hatterene's going to be a bit scary. I think it's not going to be insane. It's not going to have an insane presence, I guess I mean. But Hatterene's going to be really cool. You guys are definitely going to want to watch out for Hatterene for sure. So guys, now I want to go over a few honorable mentions. I don't think they're going to be quite as good as the three I just mentioned before, but they may see some play, and you should be prepared for them and know what they kind of do. So let's start with Colossal. So Colossal, guys, sets up its equivalent of a G-Max Wildfire with its G-Max Volcalith, which is the same, but it's not going to be doing damage to rock types, which there are definitely less rock types in the format. Tyranitar is pretty much the only one. So that is going to be cool. You're going to be hurting more of the enemy team most likely. But guys, here's the thing. Charizard is base 100 speed, which in this meta is very, very fast. So it gets off the G-Max Wildfire, and even if it dies that turn, and you've lost your Gigantamax, I guess, you've done a lot for your team. You've done a lot of damage already. But guys, the thing about Colossal is it is rock fire. It is quad weak to water and ground, and it's super slow. So the thing is it's going to be a lot harder to get that move up with Colossal. I mean, I guess if you're running the, Steam Engine Surf stuff, you're going to be able to get it up really fast. But I mean, that's also kind of a gimmick. A lot of people are prepared for it. And then you're forced to go for the rock move instead of, the grass move to kill Gastrodon, or, the fire move to kill a steel type, stuff like that. So it's going to kind of force you to go into a certain mode, and Colossal could just die before it even gets the move off in the first place. So the effect is really strong, but Colossal's just not an amazing Pokemon in its own right. So we're going to have to watch out for it, though. It might be able to pull some cool stuff off. Now, guys, Illcreme is one of my favorite Pokemon of the new generation. I think it might be just my favorite. It's so cute, but it sucks. But its Gigantamax form is pretty cool. The unfortunate thing is you're Gigantamaxing Illcreme instead of a different Pokemon. But the healing can be really cool. If you do get it next to something that's really scary set up, maybe a Dragon Dance, Dragapult, perhaps even a Belly Drum Snorlax, something like that. The effect can be really, really strong. You can keep healing and healing and healing. But Illcreme doesn't have Moonblast, for example, so it really doesn't have the best offensive presence. So Illcreme could be used in some really weird kind of niche strategy that maybe we aren't thinking about. But it's something to think about. I think this one could maybe have potential. It's going to be a cool one. My next honorable mention here is your boy Orbeetle. Orbeetle's really cool. Its typing is pretty cool. It does have a lot of weaknesses, but it is super tanky and surprisingly fast. But the thing is kind of how I mentioned before, is if Orbeetle's setting up gravity, that means the things that are going to be abusing gravity are not your Dynamax Pokemon, which doesn't mean that's always bad, but it is going to seem a bit weaker than usual. One cool thing that I am noticing is that Orbeetle can set up gravity, and then after the Gigantamax is over, it can spam Hypnosis, which is actually really cool. Unfortunately, Orbeetle does not have a way to affect its team's speed with Max Airstream. So if you were to get like set up gravity, then Max Airstream, and then you're really fast, so after your Gigantamax you go for fast Hypnosis. Unfortunately, Orbeetle is unable to do that with a flying move, but you could try to do some Max Strike kind of BS, which I think is a little weak, but maybe some people are going to find out some really cool gravity stuff you can do. Maybe some Blizzard spam, maybe like a Scarf Extra Drill comes out and starts high horsepowering stuff, which it would make it so high horsepower can't miss, and it can also hit the the flying types and the levitators. You could also not run Mold Breaker, so you could abuse Sand and then still be able to hit Rotoms, stuff like that. So I don't know, Orbeetle could be really cool. Setting up gravity is a really cool tech, so we're gonna have to watch out for that. Maybe a Durant as well. Maybe you could go the double bug. That actually sounds pretty hype. So yeah, watch out for Orbeetle, guys. And alrighty guys, here we've got Grimmsnarl. I think a lot of people are overhyping this one way too much. Here's the thing about Grimmsnarl's move, guys, is it is a 50% chance to inflict drowsy condition, so yawn, on the one Pokemon you attack. Okay, if it was like inflicts yawn on both of them 100% of the time, obviously that would be insane. But that is not how it is. It is a lot weaker than people are thinking. And then here's the thing, guys. That also means you're Dynamaxing your Grimmsnarl. Grimmsnarl has a lot of attack, but Grimmsnarl has been used primarily as a support Pokemon. But we have been seeing a little bit more offensive Grimmsnarl, maybe like Fake Out and Attack, Thunderwave Fake Tears. I would honestly say that's a little more offensive than what we've seen in the past. But I think why this is an honorable mention is I think people might throw on that Dark type move, you know, Foul Play. And then I think every Grimmsnarl you're going to play against is going to be Gigantamax Grimmsnarl. Now, how often are they going to Gigantamax that Grimmsnarl? Is probably very low. But if they're like put into a corner, you know, they don't really have another option, they have that, you know, new out now. It's just something to think about. I don't think people's main strategy is going to revolve around Gigantamax Grimmsnarl, but the option is now there, so you've always got to have it in the back of your mind. But I just don't think it's going to be super strong, but maybe we'll see. But we should be prepared for it, because I think every Grimmsnarl you see now is just going to be Gigantamax capable now, just in case they may need to use it. So another thing to watch out for. Alrighty guys, and I might be going on a limb here, but I just want to say my sleeper pick is Kingler. I'm actually going to scroll down here so you guys can see Kingler's stats. Kingler's attack, super high. Its speed, mediocre. Defense, really good. But its base HP, special defense, super low. So the thing is if Kingler's going to function, I feel like it's going to have to be like some Assault Vest set where it's more supporting the team by slowing things down, and then the other strong members of the team could really mess stuff up, or it's gonna have to be supported really hard by like a Raichu. But the thing is Kingler probably just dies to like Togekiss crit Max Airstream or Max Starfall or something like that. So maybe I'm feeling a little ambitious here, but I think we will see maybe a Kingler team here and there on the ladder doing some cool stuff. So watch out for Kingler. He's my sleeper pick, but I don't have a whole lot of faith. Alrighty guys, our next big change for the format, the talk of the town, is the Alolan starters and the Kanto starters getting added. And of course, the big one on everyone's mind is Incineroar. Now guys, in VGC 2019 and VGC 2018, Incineroar was one of the best Pokemon in the format. Access to Fake Out, Intimidate, and U-Turn on the same Pokemon is huge. Having slow U-Turn is a amazing thing to have in VGC, because the other Pokemon move first, then you U-turn, So you've seen what they've done, you've seen if they've switched out, and then you get to send in your new Pokemon. You get to switch in your new Pokemon with all the information of the turn. So that's why Incineroar is so amazing. Its typing, also amazing. But guys, I'm going to be honest with you. Incineroar is an amazing, amazing Pokemon, but it is not going to be as dominant as it was in Ultra Series, 2019 or 2018. And here's why. Guys, Fake Out has been nerfed through Dynamax. Incineroar comes out, fakes out the Dynamax, and then gets fucked. Like, obviously that's not as good. Intimidate, excuse me, has been nerfed. Lots and lots of abilities are immune to Intimidate. We've got lots of great Defiant users. Everyone's going to be like throwing Milotic on their team and saying Incineroar sucks. So Incineroar is weaker in that way. Incineroar doesn't benefit insanely from Dynamax. I think people are saying it's not a good Dynamax, but honestly, I think it is. I think it can be. So people are sleeping on its ability to Dynamax, but some people think it's kind of weak. So I think it's a good Dynamax, but that's another thing that kind of makes Incineroar less strong. And then, guys, Arcanine is still in the format. Now, a lot of people are saying that Arcanine is going to be invalidated because of Incineroar being here. And I do not agree. In previous formats, Arcanine's speed being faster was not a huge benefit just because of the other Pokemon that were in the meta. But now, Arcanine being faster than Excadrill, that's one of Arcanine's biggest sells, and being faster than the Rotom forms, is still really, really huge. I actually think Arcanine fulfills a role that Incineroar cannot. The fast Snarl, the fast Will-O-Wisp. Incineroar cannot do that. So I honestly think Arcanine is not going to be invalidated. Arcanine still has a place. Maybe its usage is going to dip a fair amount, but it is not going to be completely forgotten. I actually think that they are different and they fulfill different roles. So guys, Incineroar is going to be very, very good, but Arcanine is also going to be very, very good. So do not sleep on your boy Arcanine just because Incineroar is here. Now guys, let's talk about Primarina now. Primarina's typing is super good. Water Fairy is amazing offensive and defensive typing in this meta, I gotta say. And then it has the ability Liquid Voice, which turns sound moves into water moves, but it does not get a boost such as Pixelate or Aerialate. So it's a little bit weaker, but still very cool. But guys, let me show you guys Primarina stats really quick. Alrighty guys, don't be alarmed. Different day, different shirt, same wonderful eeks. Alright, so here we are. This is Primarina stats. Now guys, the thing about Primarina stats is that she is relatively slow. So you might want to try and run her with a Trick Room, or she's going to need Tailwind, but she's not going to be going first very often. And then her HP and defense, put together are relatively low. Excadrill coming in max quaking. Primarina is going to do a lot of damage, and it's going to get a special defense boost. So Primarina is kind of going to have to deal with that. But her special attack is super high, and special defense are super high, which is very, very good. And then guys, here's the really cool thing that Primarina can do. She can actually use Hyper Voice with Liquid Voice, and then she can have Throat Spray. So she can shoot off the really big, strong spread water move and then get the Throat Spray boost, which is really, really cool. So I think Primarina is gonna be usable, to be honest. I don't know how big of an impact she's gonna have. She does have a lot of problems with Rotom. Rotom is getting more popular. She doesn't want to see Rotom Wash, Rotom Cut. She doesn't even want to see Rotom Heat, to be honest. It's faster than her, and it's going to hit her really hard with super effective moves. So Primarina's going to be kind of cool, so keep her on your radar, yo. Next up, guys, we got Decidueye, or as some wise men call him, Dickadooey. The thing about this meta, guys, is that we really do need some strong stab grass attacks. We want really good grass types, but gotta be honest, I don't think Decidueye is the one who's going to do it. Decidueye's abilities are very poor. Both Overgrow and Long Reach. Long Reach is just not very good. And then his stats, I'll scroll down for you guys real quick right here. They're just kind of underwhelming. Like, he's got a lot of bulk, to be honest. The combination of his HP and then the big special defense. Maybe as a Dynamaxer he could be annoying. He could sit on the field for a long time. But the thing is that he's pretty slow. And I just don't see Decidueye really doing much, but feel free to prove me wrong, guys. Here is one of the biggest talks of the town of the new additions is Venusor. Everyone's really scared about how good Venusor is going to be. Reason being, guys, is Venusaur has chlorophyll, doubled speed in the sun off of its base 80 speed, makes it really, really fast, and then it is poison. So stab poison moves coming out at that speed are going to be really, really good. It's going to help you deal with Togekiss a lot easier, but Venusaur is also weak to Togekiss. You know, it's going to have to eat up a max airstream, so it's kind of a give or take. And then you've also got the really fast sleep powder. But guys, I have to say, I think Venusaur is very, very overrated right now because it doesn't have After You, so it doesn't have that really strong sun support move. It relies on 75% accurate sleep powder, and if you're running wide lens, then, you know, the item's not super effective. It's more of a support Pokemon that can only function in the sun. Like, how are you going to get Sun Up? You're going to lead Sableye Venusaur, you're going to click Sunny Day and Sleep Powder. It's like, well, that's not very much offensive pressure up there. Torkoal Venusaur sounds kind of poor. Like, Torkoal's so slow, Venusaur doesn't have a way of speeding it up. So I don't know how effective that will be either. I think Ninetails is a pretty poor Pokemon overall, so I don't see Ninetails Venusaur doing a whole lot. And then if you are Charizard Venusaur, you know, putting them together as a combo, that means you are not going to want to be G-Max Charizard because you're going to want your normal Dynamax Charizard to be setting up the sun with Max Flare. So, to be honest, I just don't really see Venusaur being as good as everybody is making it out to be. I do think Venusaur is good. It needs to be on people's radar. Safety goggles usage is going to go up a little bit, but I don't see it being quite as scary as everyone's making it out to be. But guys, if Venusaur's G-Max form sets up the Swamp, which what the Swamp is it reduces the enemy's speed down to a fourth, all enemies. The reason why people are thinking that it will be the Swamp is because Charizard's G-Max Wildfire is the same as the Fire Pledge effect. So we are thinking that maybe Venusaur's Grass move is going to be the Grass Pledge effect, and then Blastoise's is going to be the Water Pledge effect. So that's a whole different conversation, guys. When that comes out, I think if Venusaur does get the Swamp, that is absolutely insane, but that is not what we're dealing with right now. So right now, base Venusaur, I think will be good, but definitely overrated, in my humble opinion. Real quick, just want to edit this in here. Venusaur did get Earth Power in this new gen, so that is really cool, so don't be caught off guard by that. Venusaur with Earth Power is actually pretty hype. Alrighty guys, next up is Blastoise. Blastoise has never really seen the limelight in VGC. It was used a bit when you could Mega Evolve it, but not really used too often. But guys, here's the thing, and everyone's talking about it. Blastoise gets Shell Smash now, which is really cool. Let me show you guys Blastoise's stats real fast, so we know what we're dealing with the Shell Smash here. The thing about Shell Smash is I think it is a bit too cheesy. It takes the setup turn, and then you're lowering down your defenses. Blastoise is just plain water type, so after it does get up that Shell Smash, it only has one strong stab it can be using, and when Gastrodon exists, Blastoise is going to be having a lot of trouble to really sweep through the team. Another thing is that I think White Herb sounds a bit whack, to be honest. If you are running White Herb, you know, you're not going to be doing a whole lot of damage. Blastoise's offensive stats aren't insanely good, 83, 85, they're just okay. So I don't think Blastoise is really gonna be able to pull off a lot. You know, it might have some fun, but I'm not sure how big of an impact it's gonna have on the meta. Alrighty guys, next up we have the last big impact move coming in Season 3, and that is that Alolan forms and some Cantonian forms are going to be allowed in VGC. Unfortunately, guys, let me tell you now, Raichu you are not going to be able to get because Raichu has to evolve from a Pikachu in the Alola region, which is impossible because the Pikachu form that Alolan Raichu evolves from is just a normal Pikachu. So the normal Pikachu will just evolve into Raichu here in Galar. But the big ones, guys, are Alolan Ninetails and Lowland Persian. Let's start with the Lowland Ninetails. Now guys, with the addition of Alolan Ninetails, I've got to say that unlike Incineroar and Arcanine, I think Ninetails is going to practically invalidate Vanillux. Vanillux is just too slow, it's plain Ice type, they both have Snow Warning, and the only thing Vanillux really has going for Ninetails is a much higher special attack, but I just don't see that mattering quite as much. Ninetales being its base 109 speed, which I'll show you guys right here. Alolan Ninetales being base 109 speed is just super, super fast compared to Vanillex's 79. So I think that gives Ninetales a huge advantage over Vanillex. Being able to get off that Aurora Veil that much faster is huge. The Fairy typing is a huge boon. You know, being able to hit lots of different sides of the spectrum with the Stab Moonblast is going to be very, very cool. And I don't think the Fairy type making Ninetales quad weak to Steel matters in any way, shape, or form, because Vanillex or Ninetales, even if it was plain Ice, they are dying to super strong Steel moves no matter what. So I think being quad weak to it almost doesn't even matter, because you are going to die to a max Steel Spike from almost anything anyway. But one thing I think is really cool, going back to Ninetales Speed, is being able to get off a really, really fast Icy Wind is super cool. We actually just saw that at the Oceania International, that people were running Icy Wind Gengar, which I will be talking about in a later video. But fast Icy Wind is very, very cool. So I think Ninetales is going to be really, really good. You guys are definitely going to want to watch out for Ninetales. And last but certainly not least is a Lowland Persian. Now guys, if you didn't play VGC in 2017, 2018, or 2019, you guys might not know how strong a Lowland Persian is, but trust me, it is very, very good. Persian has the ability Fur Coat, which effectively doubles its defense, so that makes it super bulky. It's plain dark, and it has access to a lot of great support moves: Fake Out, Wash, Fast Snarl, Parting Shot, also amazing. So Lowland Persian is an amazing, amazing support Pokemon. It's really good with Snorlax. That's a Pokemon it was used with a lot. You know, being able to Fake Out Belly Drum, quash some stuff, Foul Play really fast. It is a very, very strong Pokemon. But being base 115 speed, it is one base speed slower than Whimsicott, and it is weak to Fairy. So that is definitely Persian's bane, is going to be Fairy types and really, really strong special attacks that might just be able to one-shot it. So Togekiss is going to be a problem for Persian, but we see Pokemon that hate to see Togekiss flourish all the time, such as Kingler. So guys, Alolan Persian, amazing support Pokemon, and it can definitely be used over Incineroar. They kind of do different roles. They're both dark types with Fake Out, but Persian's faster, more supporty moves. Incineroar is more slow and can hit a lot harder, but yeah, Alolan Persian, super good. Well guys, that is going to do it for this video. There are lots of new Pokemon and new tricks coming with Season 3, so I'm super excited to be pumping out some new content, new streams, new teams for you guys to watch, so I'm really excited about this new meta change. Look out for my Oceania wrap-up video, guys. It's going to be coming out soon. It is going to be a good one. I want to keep you guys up to date with all the cool new stuff happening in competitive. And guys, please, I do urge you to check me out on Twitch. It is my livelihood. I'm putting in a lot of hours and a lot of work over there, so please do check me out. I'll leave a link in the description to that. But guys, that is going to do it from me today. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you guys next time. Peace.